Hello, class. I hope everybody's being blessed and having a great day today. We're going to start off by my interest of chaplaincy, which is the military. So the scope of the work is to serve those that are in the military with me. It doesn't really matter if they're even in the military, but usually everybody that's on that particular base, whether you're stateside or deployed, those are those are the people that I would serve mostly. But if anybody can get on base, anybody is welcome to the chapel on base. The work is mostly throughout the week. You will be available for anyone to come in, and you have that open door policy, of course, and they can talk to you about whatever, you know, whatever they need. You can pray for them, whatever you want to do. Whatever they need, really. And then on Sundays, you usually have your typical church or your traditional type service. Not a whole, from what I've experienced, not a whole lot of music. You might have some good volunteers to be able to play some music for you, but a lot of them, especially deployments, sometimes you might not have any music. You might just have a service. Depends on the base. Which would also determine how many services you have, how big the base is. And then you also have different religions. So it's not just Christianity. You have Catholic, you even have Wicca, you have all kind of different religions. So there are several different services. So that's pretty much the scope of the military chaplain and the people that I would serve on a typical day. Okay, so as far as education goes, you will most definitely have to have a master's degree of at least 72 credit hours. It has to be 72 credit hours. You might be able to get a master's and it's less than that, but in the military, has to be that many credit hours, which is okay because most seminary master's degrees are pretty high in credit hours. Special training, most definitely will have to go through officer training school. There's some different ways that you might become a chaplain. Was already enlisted. So I went through basic training, normal basic training. I got my degree while I was in my bachelor's degree while I was in the military as an enlisted member. You have the chaplain candidate program, which is also training is incorporated because you're shadowing chaplains during the summertime of your schooling, which is an awesome program that I was very close to getting in and still may get into it one day. What else? That is really all the specific training. Obviously, the hands-on, being a pastor, that pastoral role. Getting that experience in that and counseling others most definitely is needed. But as far as training goes, in school, it's the master's degree and also the OTS, and you can do chaplain candidate program if you want. There's different ways to join. So in the military, the organizations that are involved, there's a huge list of endorsers that will endorse you, and I'm not sure if that is the organizations that is being asked of, but so many different organizations, so many different churches, and just specific military organizations that will endorse. So yeah, I mean, that's really, and then military, I mean, it's different because military, you know exactly, that's a job. It's not like a separate thing, like maybe you have a regular job and then you go to be a chaplain like on the weekends. This is your job. So if they know that you want to be a chaplain, when you tell them, you know what's expected of you, your schooling, your training, your experience, and then of course getting endorsed and ordained, of course. So plenty of organizations to choose from. So yes, as a chaplain in the military, it is different from a congregational based ministry because it's like you're out there in the field with your people. So it's almost like a big mission trip, even though most of the people aren't there to do mission for the Lord. Some are. You're kind of doing mission for the military. Really no kind about it. You are on a mission. So when you're deployed, you most definitely are in the field with your guys and gals. And as far as stateside, not being deployed, you're still obviously in the field. You're still with your people. I see most chaplains go out and talk with different organizations, different units, and kind of introduce themselves. And you have different briefings and different calls, like commanders calls that go on. And a lot of the times they want the chaplain to come out and say a few words, say a prayer, and maybe even give them a segment in that commander's call. So it's very team oriented and very togetherness. It's a big team, the military. So the chaplain is obviously not excluded, and is a very key and essential piece to a military base, or wherever the chaplain is needed. So it's a little bit different, even though I know the pastor of a regular church, your traditional congregational based ministry, is important and is also a team player. They usually aren't leaving as much, and they may not even be at the church every single day, opposed to a chaplain who is going to be there every day waiting for anybody that needs help, and also going around the base and spreading good positivity and love, and also doing certain different ceremonial tasks as well. And of course, when you're deployed, you're right there with the people every day, living in tents just like they are, and just really hands-on with whatever's going on. So I have a few ministry boundaries that I personally think are important. One being time. Most definitely should have boundaries with time. As much as we want to help people, we still have loved ones, families that we need to spend time with. Obviously, they need us the most. So time, and also most definitely it's important to get as much time in with God, obviously, and a real relationship, a personal relationship with God, not just moving through the motions. So time with God, time with family, most definitely important. Speech is very important. How we talk, how we present ourselves, how we glorify God is very important. So I think that's most definitely, it should be a boundary. I know the military has a bad rep of having sailor's mouth. And I am going into the Navy, so, but I most definitely will keep that boundary. I think that the activities I choose to do, should have boundaries. Obviously, they should stay appropriate and glorifying to God. Obviously, doesn't mean that I have to do all the quote unquote church things, but there are ways to have fun without having to cross boundaries. And I also think relationships, the people that I have relationships with, there should be boundaries. Everybody's not for everybody. And as much as we would love to be friends with everybody, it's just not meant to be. So I think that who we hang around is important. It's kind of like that saying where they say you are who you hang around. So I think that putting a boundary on that is important, to stay close to those that want the same thing as you, and want to be close to the Lord, and just continue to encourage you, and you encourage them. I think that's important. So some good self-care methods would be to leave work at home. When you're with the family, be with the family, and take care of yourself when you can it's, best place to do it is at home. It can be the most vulnerable. You can get a chance to relax. Have a pastor that you can go to and talk to at any time. Have an accountability partner that you can go to and talk to it at any time, and that accountability partner should hold you accountable. Also, as far as the boundaries go, an accountability partner should hold you accountable, and also your pastor can hold you accountable with that. Family, but most definitely, an accountability partner, I believe, is important for a lot of things. For someone who is trying to continue on the right path in Christ. So, also getting that extra help if needed, talking to somebody as well. We obviously get this stigma that we aren't, or this reputation that we don't have anybody to go to, but we most definitely have someone to go to. And we got to be honest with ourselves and drop any pride if it's there, that may feel like we don't need to go and get help. Most definitely, we should be getting as much help as we need and being able to vent to someone and taking advice as well. And I believe that that's some of the best ways to get your self-care. Legal issues and moral issues in the military are very big. Because chaplaincy is confidential, and a person might say something that you may have to say something if they're talking about harming somebody else. And moral is, it's you know what the military is all about. That what we do in the military is not what some people would think is the right thing to do. So that could kind of be a moral issue. There's a lot of, but even more particular, there are decisions that are made in the military that, as a chaplain, you probably won't agree with because it goes against your morals. But you can't say anything because you're not. If nobody asks you your opinion, then you really can't throw it out. You can't throw it out there, really. You just, so you just have to bite that bullet and, or just bite that tongue, I guess I should say. So there are different, most definitely different moral issues in the military. The military does not have a good reputation for the lifestyle sometimes, and just the things that go down in the military. So there's quite a bit there. It's not that hard to see. I think the trends are dying down. One trend I think could still be worked on, and is the idea that you have to be saved or be religious to go and see the chaplain. And unfortunately, for some people, they didn't do that, and the result of it might have turned out bad. So I hope that as chaplains we can continue to change the narrative on that, this big religious idea that you have to be religious to go and see a chaplain because they represent a religion. I think that it is getting better. There are plenty of chaplains that talk to people that don't believe in what they believe in, and I think that's awesome. But if we can get that to continue to happen more and more, that would be great.